obviously your team, yourself, you're extraordinarily confident coming into this. You went back to the drawing board, you changed a lot coming into this rematch. Just from your perspective, what do you think went wrong?
Well, Zhang is a great fighter and he is a great southpaw. He's fellow silver medalist, and he's probably avoided by most. So it was probably a bit too far of a risk because I need to fight a southpaw because I hadn't fought a southpaw for a long time. But yeah, he's a great fighter and he's avoided for a reason. So it's just disappointing because I got myself into the position I was, and then it was obviously a risk too far, and I paid the price.
Was it in your head at all that when you were in there that you know how dangerous he was coming from that first fight? Was that running through your mind at all as he started to throw punches?
No, not really, but I was a bit more concentrated on what he was throwing and like warming into the fight and doing what I'd been practicing. But he's a difficult fighter, and maybe it was. It's just a risk too far. Well, maybe I could have gone another route, but I decided to take the challenge and paid the price. But there's obviously this is not it for me. So there's plenty more in the tank. So should see me again out there. So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to have a bit of time off, reflect, and watch the fight back, and then come back and new and improved.
You've worked so hard to get to this point in your career, and you said yourself there that you're far from finished. What does the drawing board look like from this point? How do you get back to where you want to be?
Well, I'm going to have to, talk with my team and see what's the best route. Like, this is, obviously I'm disappointed, and I have to reflect and watch the fight back and see what mistakes I made. Yeah, but hats off to Zhang. He's a great fighter, and I'm sure he's going to be in some great fights next. But I'm going to have to rebuild and come back, go a different route.
Dubois?
Possibly.
You think you can take that fight?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting fight. He seems to. He's got a new coach, and he seems to be improving. So, if the people want to see it, then that could be a possibility.
And those are the first words of Joe Joyce since he was knocked out by Zhilei Zhang. And he explains that, he didn't have to take the challenge. He didn't have to take such a risk. He paid the price. My counterpunch to Joe Joyce is, I think he's courageous for what he did. And it just shows you what other fighters are now willing to do. The chances they're not willing to take. But then, yet, I think unfairly, those guys that don't want to take the chances, that would rather take the easy road or the easy route, are looked at as better fighters than guys like Joe Joyce. Understand, between Joe Joyce and Zhilei Zhang, Joe Joyce has fought a stream of fighters. Danny Dubois, he's fought Zhilei Zhang twice. He's knocked out Joseph Parker, which was a former WBO champion. Parker beat Ruiz. Ruiz beat Joshua. Okay. He's beat guys like Stavern, which was, the former WBC champion. He's took on guys like Carlos Takam, Christian Hammer, guys like that, Brian Jennings. And the list goes on. And he fought everybody that he possibly could at the time, and this is the result of fighting the best. It is. I like his attitude. I like the guy. I like Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, you can never say nothing really bad about Joe, because Joe doesn't really talk shit about people. Joe's is laid back. He's calm. You know what I mean? He really just pretty much, he speaks his mind at times. But I mean, that's everybody if you call yourself a man, and I like the whole idea that it's not over for him. And I think that's the main thing that I can extract from his next words. Like, hey, let's see what's the best route for me, because I feel I have a whole lot left. And he very well may be. The only thing is, I think people are going to fight Joe Joyce in a different way, because people now are going to find out if their punch can crack or knock down or hurt the juggernaut. Joe Joyce is a guy that was known for taking a lot of punches, but he was known to also give them back to you. Okay, so I look forward to seeing him fight. I heard in my comments somebody saying that Joe Joyce is boring. No, Joe Joyce is anything but boring. Okay. And what now we see about Joe Joyce? Joe Joyce is one of those guys. He's either going to stop you or you're going to stop him. Now the question is, can someone else stop Joe Joyce like the one man Big Bang Zhang has done? That's the question. And I think that he's going to be anything. If anything, he's going to be an excited fighter, a seat filler, and I think he's going to gain respect. He needs to get some wins under his column. I would love to see him fight Hrgovic, to be real with you. You know what I mean? Because now, the funny thing about fights, the first thing somebody will say, because Hrgovic beat Zhang, Hrgovic would destroy Joe Joyce. I don't see that being the case either. You know what I mean? So I think, if anything, that would be a better fight because of the style. Zhang is an explosive counterpuncher and a southpaw. Joe Joyce fighting someone orthodox, I think he's better suited, just like he did with Joseph Parker. And I want to see him again. It's only been one guy that beat him. He's just lost back-to-back. A lot of fighters, Deontay Wilder, AJ, Anthony Joshua, have both been beaten back-to-back by the same guy as well. So why are we dumping and shitting on Joe Joyce? And if we are, we shouldn't. Okay? Now, if Joe Joyce, I think he's still going to be an exciting fighter. I hope this doesn't shake him up too much. But again, I do like his attitude and his answer, and I hope to see Joe Joyce again. You guys tell me what you think about Joe Joyce's latest words, or first words, since his latest defeat by Zhilei Zhang. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!